Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you my review of the Smartcine camera system from Sevenoak. This is a company that I've worked with before for handheld camera rigs, but they're starting a new Kickstarter campaign with the Smartcine adapter. And what this provides you, other than it's a handheld system, is the ability to get better video, better audio, because it has a built-in stereo microphone. And it works with a variety of devices. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to give you guys again my review, and I want to say thank you very much to Sevenoak for allowing me to check it out. I want to mention to you guys that what I have here is pre-production hardware, so the final packaging is not going to be indicative of this. The way they sent it to me, essentially it comes into this little carrier hard shell case and they put everything inside. Here is what comes in the box. We have a wind muff for wind reduction when you're using it outside to be able to fit it over the microphone. We have a right and left channel here. You have a couple of lenses that are included, a fisheye lens as well as a wide angle lens, and you're basically mounting them here directly in the center over the lens of your device. The other thing that we also have here is a couple of cables. We do have a three-prong connector, which does indicate here, says this is the microphone, and then here it says this is the smartphone. So if your smartphone does have a 3.5mm headphone jack and it accepts audio from external sources, you plug the one with the 3 prongs to your smartphone, the 2 prongs go directly into the stereo microphone. Micro USB to Type A to be able to charge it. It does have a charging port that's built in here, and it's a 5V at 1 amp rated, so make sure you're using a charger. They do not include a brick in the box, although I'm not sure about the final version. The last two things we have here is the cable, the cables for using them for USB Type-C as well as Lightning, or the Apple adapter. So these will be supporting 90% of all Android devices, and then this will of course support all of the iPhones that have it. Even if you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, the iPhone system allows you to be able to route audio through here. And then these two plugs will definitely, you'll be able to plug them to the microphone line out option here. Now, looking over the actual setup, we have a stereo built-in microphone at the top here, left and right channel, and we have a line out that goes up from here that goes into your device, and that's what you're using those cables for. We have a 0 to plus 10 dB audio switch, as well as a low cut filter and just on. And when you turn it on, there's an LED light that tells you and indicates that it is on. And of course, switching it all the way to the front takes you into the low cut filter if you want to use that. You are also able to monitor your audio, so you can actually use this as a production rig. So you plug this in so you can see or hear the audio correctly. Now we do have a ring light that turns on here. Let's go and turn it on, and you're able to basically set it to 3 different settings, and it depends on your usage. Of course, you can turn it off. Great for when you're getting really close to your subject or if there's not enough light outside. The entire thing is actually configurable, which is really cool. Now, looking over the actual setup, we'll notice there's 2 options here. There's the ability of adjusting the camera opening here, as well as the actual mount. You mount your device like you normally would, and you put it into a position where you can actually align it with the lens. And once you have that aligned, you basically position your phone, and then you can reduce it here by adjusting the pressure to turn on the camera so that you can actually position it. And you notice right there, my entire field of view is done correctly. Now, I have been testing it with the iPhone, so that's why it's set up correctly, and of course the lens is showing up here. You are able to use this additional lenses by opening and then screwing it over there, and it does not touch your lens, so there's no issue. Adjusting this portion of the actual setup is used with these 2 little screws, and then once you have it set up, it's basically pretty sturdy. I was assured by them when I did give them my concern that this looked a little bit flimsy, is that the final product will have a much more sturdier build. Last but not least, we do have a removable arm handle here that you can mount this on the tripod if you want to use it, or you can of course use this as it's a much better configuration this way when you're holding it and working around. And of course, we have a wrist strap. So the first thing we're going to do is set the baseline. This is the iPhone 8 Plus, no microphones plugged in, no additional lenses. So the lenses they include we're not even using yet. This is again just to kind of give you guys a baseline to understand what can the iPhone 8 Plus produce normally and how it changes once we plug in the additional microphone and even use some of these wide angle lenses or even the fisheye lens. So I went ahead and plugged in the microphone. There's a little bit of background noise, so I'm hoping this microphone does a better job of isolating the noise, or at least my sound. We're using the cable that they provided us that plugs into the bottom of the iPhone 8 Plus and straight directly out of the actual microphone setup. Now, I did not actually turn on the dB increase. I'm going to do that next, as right now we're running at 0. Okay, so this audio sample now has the plus 10 dB microphone set. When I reviewed the video from the first clip that I showed you guys with 0, it did sound a little bit low. Nothing that I couldn't fix in post, but at least at this point, you're able to increase the audio on it and just be able to get better audio from your subject.
Now the last audio sample before we start using the actual lenses that we got included here, I put on the wind muff. Now there's not a lot of wind where I am right now, but I'm hoping essentially it's going to reduce some of the background noise. The main thing that I noticed from the first two samples after I started using the microphone is that background noise actually dropped dramatically, and it's actually more subject focused. So you're getting definitely better audio directly from your subject when you're filming them. So if you are actually behind the camera, you know that you're going to be getting much better focus on your subject. Now moving on to the lenses. I know you probably noticed this entire time we've been using the standard lens on the iPhone 8 Plus. Now they include two lenses, a wide angle and a fisheye. We're going to use the wide angle lens first, and just to show you how much more you're able to fit into the frame once you add this lens to your setup. So the first thing you'll notice right off the bat, there's just more in the actual frame. I don't actually have to keep positioning this to make sure that I'm actually in frame. In the first few images that I gave you with the videos, you'll notice that at some point I was actually getting closer to the top. That's just the limitation of part of the camera. So whenever you're using it at arm's length, you're always kind of focused on your subject. Here, you're able to actually get more of the background. So not only are you focusing on me, but you're also focusing on what's behind me, namely the plants here. But if you're at an event or anything like that, this is definitely going to be nice. So the last lens we're going to be talking about today is the fisheye lens. They also include that in the kit. And this lens has a little bit of a, as you notice, rounding effect, kind of like a GoPro or an action camera style view. Some people look for that, and you're able to do that directly with this camera setup and give this to any device that you put on this rig. Keep in mind that if you want, you could edit this in an editor or a software production tool that you can actually remove some of those things and make it more of a 16:9, 18:9 even, just to make it basically fit what your production level needs. Back in the office, and now we're focusing on the ring light. The ring light works really well in low light situations like this to illuminate your subject. There's 3 different steps. This is, I would say about 30%. This is level 2, definitely a lot brighter. I can definitely feel it on my eyes. Now you can probably see the reflection in my glasses, but overall this is going to be very good for illuminating subjects, and of course providing more focus in low dim light situations. And now we're at level 3, the highest level that we're able to get here on the ring light. Using the microphones on this rig with the ring light, you have no problem being able to not only get good audio but good video even in low light situations.
As you saw, the first few clips were basically showcasing the audio, and there was definitely an audio improvement when we went from the built-in microphones to the Smartcine microphones. And of course we were able to bump it up as well as using a low-cut filter. So you can go 10 dB up and then turn on the low-cut filter if you have that any kind of like low-level noises in the background. I think the ring light is definitely a nice addition, and it does get pretty bright. Keep in mind that as the battery dwindles down, the performance of the ring light will also dwindle down. So make sure that you're using it at full charge, or if you want, you can run a light, let's say a camera from a power bank aligned to it, and then just make sure that it's running on power most of the time. I like the setup. I like the fact that it's mobile and it's portable. So definitely a really nice package from Sevenoak, and hopefully you guys will have a chance to be able to actually check it out on Kickstarter. And if you decide to back it up, that's definitely going to be very cool, because this will elevate your camera experience. I do want to mention one thing at the end of the day though, is that your device has to accept external audio when recording video. On the iPhone, it's definitely built in. If you're using another Android device, not all of them support it. You do need to download, let's say, an open camera application that actually does allow you to bring in external audio. Samsung does by default allow that on most of their devices, so you just plug that in and you'll be able to get audio either over USB-C or the 3.5mm headphone jack, as they provide you with all the cables. And the lenses are definitely very appreciated, as they are able to give you different types of shot, different types of point of view. With the wide angle lens, especially on the iPhone, you can definitely appreciate having more of the image in the actual shoot, so you can actually decide what you want to cut out, if you want to zoom in or not. And the fisheye definitely gives you that nice little perspective view as more of like a sport camera, kind of like a GoPro a little bit. Thank you very much to Sevenoak for allowing me to check out the Smartcine. Again, link in the description below for you guys to be able to check out the Kickstarter campaign. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.